Did you know that the most successful people in the world fail far more often than average people? It sounds counterintuitive, but studies show that top performers experience 2 to 3 times more setbacks on their journey. They just respond to them differently. Welcome to Amazivation, the amazing motivation you have not ever heard. Today, I'm going to reveal why setbacks aren't just obstacles on your path to success. They're actually essential ingredients. By the end of this video, you'll have a powerful framework to transform your failures into your greatest competitive advantage. We've all been there. The moment when a project falls apart, a relationship ends, or an opportunity slips away. That crushing feeling when reality doesn't match your expectations. Society teaches us that setbacks are something to avoid, hide, or quickly move past. But what if everything we've been taught about failure is completely backward? I've spent years studying the psychology of resilience and interviewing high achievers across different fields. What I discovered changed my entire perspective on setbacks. Today, I'm sharing the counterintuitive framework that elite performers use to leverage setbacks as catalysts for extraordinary growth. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about strategic response to inevitable challenges. First, let's understand what actually happens in your brain during a setback. When you experience failure, your amygdala, the emotional center of your brain, activates your stress response. This triggers a flood of cortisol and adrenaline, which can impair your prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for rational thinking and problem solving. This is why setbacks feel so overwhelming in the moment. Your brain is literally shifting resources away from your thinking centers and into your emotional and survival centers. Let me show you what's happening with this simple demonstration. This glass of water represents your cognitive resources, your ability to think clearly, make decisions, and learn. When you experience a setback, your brain's stress response does this. Your cognitive resources become clouded by emotional reactivity. This is completely normal and happens to everyone, even the most successful people in the world. But here's where the difference begins. Average performers stay in this clouded state, making decisions from a place of emotional reactivity. Elite performers, however, have developed a system to rapidly clear the emotional fog and access the hidden opportunities within setbacks. They've learned to transform the chemistry of failure into the foundation for breakthrough success. Let's contrast how most people handle setbacks with the approach used by consistent high achievers. The conventional approach treats setbacks as anomalies, unwelcome interruptions to be minimized, hidden, or quickly forgotten. This creates what psychologists call failure avoidance, a mindset that actually increases anxiety and decreases performance in challenging situations. The growth approach treats setbacks as data, valuable feedback that reveals precisely what needs to be improved or adjusted. This activates your brain's learning centers rather than just its emotional centers. The conventional approach asks disempowering questions like, "Why does this always happen to me?" Or, "What if I'm just not good enough?" These questions trigger what psychologists call explanatory pessimism, interpreting setbacks as permanent, pervasive, and personal. The growth approach asks empowering questions like, "What specific skill gap does this reveal?" And "How can I design a better approach next time?" These questions activate your prefrontal cortex, bringing you back into a solution-oriented state. And perhaps most importantly, the conventional approach sees the path to success as a straight line that should be smooth and obstacle-free. But elite performers understand that the actual path looks more like this. They expect setbacks as part of the journey and have systems in place to extract maximum value from each one. So here's the breakthrough framework I promised. The RISE method for transforming setbacks into your greatest competitive advantage. R stands for recognize. The first step is to quickly recognize when you're in an emotional reaction state. Physical cues like tension, shallow breathing, or racing thoughts are your signal to implement the rest of the framework. I is for isolate. Precisely identify what went wrong and, more importantly, what didn't go wrong. Most people catastrophize, seeing failure as total when it's actually specific and limited. S is for study. Approach the setback with genuine curiosity. What specific skills, knowledge, or resources would have led to a different outcome? This transforms setbacks from emotional experiences into learning opportunities. And E is for elevate. Create a concrete action plan that not only addresses the specific failure point but actually raises your baseline performance above where it was before. Now here's where it gets powerful. These 4 elements create what psychologists call post-traumatic growth, the phenomenon where people actually become stronger and more capable because of challenges, not despite them. When I lost my first business 3 years ago, this exact framework transformed what felt like devastating failure into the foundation for much greater success. I recognized my emotional state, isolated the specific failures in my business model, studied them with genuine curiosity, and created an elevated approach that addressed those weaknesses. That failure became the seed for the business you see today, one that's far more aligned with my strengths and far more valuable to my customers. The setback wasn't an obstacle to my success, it was a necessary ingredient. Let me show you exactly how to implement this framework in your life, no matter what setback you're facing. Step 1. Create a setback protocol before you need it. This is a simple one-page document that outlines exactly what you'll do when you face a significant failure. Include specific questions you'll ask yourself, people you'll reach out to for perspective, and activities that help you regain emotional clarity, like exercise, meditation, or journaling. Step 2. Develop the habit of micro-reflection. At the end of each day, spend 3 minutes asking, what small setbacks did I experience today? What specific insights do they offer? This builds your setback response muscle for when larger challenges arise. Step 3. Create a failure resume, a document where you actually record your significant setbacks and what you learned from each one. This practice, used by many elite performers, transforms your relationship with setbacks from something to hide to something to leverage. Step 4. Share your setbacks strategically. Research shows that discussing failures with others, in a solution-focused way, significantly increases your ability to extract value from them. This system works because it aligns with how your brain actually processes challenges. It doesn't deny the emotional impact of setbacks, but it prevents those emotions from hijacking your growth potential. And remember, setbacks aren't just inevitable on the path to success, they're essential. They reveal precisely what you need to learn, develop, or change to reach the next level. I'd love to know what specific setback you're currently navigating. Share in the comments below, and I'll personally respond with how to apply this framework to your situation. If this approach resonates with you, hit the subscribe button and notification bell to join our community of Amazivation seekers. Next week, I'll be sharing the companion to this technique: how to build unshakable confidence that persists through any challenge. Remember, it's not the setback itself that determines your success, it's your response to it. I believe in your ability to transform today's challenges into tomorrow's breakthroughs. This is Amazivation, and I'll see you in the next video.